have to provide them with the information, whether it's numerical on SKUs or what guests are telling me, you know, provide that information to them. So it is a partnership where you have to come together and trust each other. It's no different than having a joint checking account with your spouse.
Which is a big step, right?
Huge. Why I have an ex-spouse.
Exactly.
No, but
it's a lot like that. Yeah, it's a lot.
It is. You have to be able to trust each other that someone is, you know, managing them well. There's going to be enough money to pay all the bills, and that you can still have a life, etc., and so forth. It's very similar to that. So, you know, it's not an invasion of your finances. It's that you guys are both pooling them and your resources together to make better business decisions that will benefit.
What are some suggestions, or what are some ways that people can always, I guess, protect themselves more? And I guess, can you be more protected with a franchise than as if you went out on your own and start your own business? Or it just depends what the bank wants from you?
I wouldn't say you could be more protected using a franchise instead of starting from scratch. You can incorporate a company and then let the company be the franchisee, but the company will still need to meet the same criteria as an individual. So if it's an empty company, but for the fact that you just incorporated it, well, then the franchisor is most certainly going to want personal guarantees. So you haven't saved yourself any trouble there. But as the business is successful and you start to accumulate wealth in the company, you can move that money out so that if the company is the franchisee and something terrible should happen, the liability will stop at the company, and you don't necessarily need to have kept all of the money that you've earned in the company. You can have a family trust set up, and I'm sure Claire can speak more to that because that's an accounting issue. So there are ways that you can protect yourself more going forward, but you can't do it simply by incorporating and hoping that the franchisor will be satisfied with an empty incorporation. They'll want value, whether it comes from a company that already has value affiliated with it, or whether they'll get you to do a personal guarantee.
So that's better than more for the long-term planning. If you're in for the long haul, start it now.
Absolutely.
Have that step there so that 25 years down the road, you're good to go.
The franchises are, you know, protecting a franchise is really no different from protecting any other business, because you get into personal guarantees if you have your own company that you incorporate as well. And people don't understand what the implications of a personal guarantee are. I see people who make these personal guarantees, and the minute you've made a personal guarantee, you've just lost any benefit from incorporation in terms of the people you guaranteed the money for, like if it's the bank or whatever. Well, now you personally owe that money to the bank as well. So there's a lot of that goes on. People do lose the benefit of incorporation just from making personal guarantees. And even some suppliers will ask for a personal guarantee. If you're spending a lot of money with one particular supplier or several, they may ask for a personal guarantee. Like I say, whenever you've done that, now you're not protected for that particular contract. And a new corporation has no credit, so most people ask for personal guarantees and everything, and the banks sometimes won't even lend the money to the corporation. They will only lend it to the individual.
Your professional skills, but your personal development skills as a person. I mean, there was times last year when I was going through the move and negotiations and all this kind of stuff that I was like, really? Do I want to do this? Yeah. Okay. And I kept telling myself I'm going to be a stronger, better person because of it, and you really are. There are days where you want to sit on the sidewalk and cry, but everybody knows you around here, so you can't do that. But you go home and do it. You also get to involve your family in it. I was very fortunate with the franchise that I picked that I was able to take my son to Panama. I had won Franchise Partner of the Year. And being a single parent, my franchisor was great and said, take your son. So he got to see another part of life. He's been on other trips too. He enjoyed the Ritz last year at Florida when we went there. So it's great to bring your child in it. And if somebody calls in sick, you got to go in and you can take them and they're unloading boxes, and your guests know your kids and they watch you grow up, and you become a family. It's building relationships in the community. You know, working with Walk a Mile in Her Shoes is something I was able to do. The Rotary Group, all kinds of things that you can be involved in your community and have access to, develops you as a person as well, and spreads the words for some great causes. So you build ethics and integrity along the way.
Yet, and I think franchising is great. I get excited by seeing great business concepts being distributed through a franchise model, because you get to work with folks like this that are very entrepreneurial, waiting for that chance, that opportunity. Next thing you know, you've engaged them in that partnership, and everyone's in business, and it's all about changing lives, right? We've met folks at different times in their lives, and where are we now? I've got a friend that came in business, and he had a young family selling car parts, never home. He's built the business over $1 million business. We're still together now. That business continues to expand, and I remember him when he came in and I pitched him up, you know, sitting in a place over there saying, you know what, I think this business would be good for you, and the business has been good to him. So those are the victories, having folks just like this, talking on panels like this everywhere, saying, I love the fact that I bought my franchise, I love my franchise, I wouldn't change anything. Like, how cool is
Personal
that?
decision, and you have to take a look at, I mean, people said to me, why didn't I take Moncton North? I'm going to be 50. I don't want to work that hard from 50 to 60. 40 to 50 was hard enough. But Jeanette and I were talking about this in the bathroom.
It's exactly like Mark's wants to open up Shediac and Riverview, and it's in my territory.
I heard you were doing
I'm
it.
too old.
Yeah, our appetite will never die. The franchisor wants them to open more, more, do more. Please do more. Let's do it.
But I think because this is a women's meeting, so
We are good, nobody addressed that yet.
we're so happy you're in touch with your female side. But as we grow as women, and my children are grown up, and Jeanette's children are grown up, and maybe we want to do something different. I mean, we develop as people as well. And I've signed on for another 10 years, which is 1 year down and 9 years to go. And I've already started planning my exit.
And I'm trying to remember. And as well, we've made donations to our bursary fund on your behalf as well.
Awesome.
We'll start to